Yes, and go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to kind of go back just a tiny bit to where I was in 2019, because it's really easy to see people's achievements and be like, wow, that's good for them. That's awesome. But really important part of my story is to kind of know where I was before I started 2020. So in 2019, I went diamond for the first time, and basically I wanted to be diamond for Destin. I earned that first, well, it wasn't the first time they've had those trips, but I earned my first trip to Destin, and that was awesome. And then I would have probably assumed like around before Destin in October, I had dropped that rank, but I had held it and earned the trip, and that was awesome. And then I reheld my diamond rank when we held for 5-star elite as a team for Heart and Hustle for the first time, which was so fun. And it was felt really good to kind of have that back again. And then December, January came, and by the time we went to our diamond leadership retreat at Brooke's parents' cabin, I was a completely broken, fallen apart, definitely not even close to diamond coach. So I came into 2020 with a couple ladies I thought maybe would want to work the business with me, but I did not feel like I had a team. If I'm going to be really blunt with you, I did not feel like I had a team coming into 2020. And I think that that's important to share, because I want you guys to realize tonight, while this call is about my team going premier, my team hitting 2-star, I feel like all the things I'm going to share are relevant for anybody that's ready to step up and start like being a leader for their own personally sponsored coaches. So whether your goal is elite this year, or your goal is premier this year, or your goal is team builder, first of all, I wanted to say, I think everybody's goal should at least be 2-star premier, because no matter where you are, I feel like that's a super achievable goal. And I know that's easy for me to say now, but if you're willing to put in the work. So let's talk about that a little bit. So I came into 2020 with my mindset, okay, it's kind of this weird mix of things where I was not afraid to speak really big goals out loud. My 2020 goal was 5-star elite for my team. And I was really bold at saying that. But to be really transparent, I did not believe it at all. I had such limiting beliefs on myself. I did not believe that I was cut out to be a leader. I thought maybe my place was just in challenge groups, because you guys have probably heard me talk about my virtual gym, which I'm obsessed with. And I love helping people get results. And I just kept thinking, like, maybe that's my place. Maybe I'm not meant to be a leader of leaders. So I had lots of like mindset things to work through. So kind of to lay the groundwork for 2020, the first thing was I did speak those big goals. And I think even when you don't fully believe in yourself, just like our challengers that maybe aren't ready for their health and fitness, just knowing that where you want to go is important, and saying those things out loud. So that was kind of one step. And then the other thing was, I talked about this on our vision and goals call at the beginning of the year. So I go way more in depth there, and I'm not going to tonight. I broke down what felt like really big puke goals into really small, tangible, monthly, even weekly goals for me. And all of a sudden, it felt at least a little bit easier. Like, okay, if I can do this each week and I can do this every day, then maybe we'll get there. Like, I knew that's what I had to do to get there. So for Premier slash 2-star, I printed off the forms in the back office that kind of tell you what you need to hit elite and those things. And after looking it through, I was like, okay, I need to hit Success Club 10. I need to teach my coaches to hit Success Club. And naturally, you're going to build up leaders and they're going to kind of duplicate your team. And I'm going to talk a lot more about that tonight. But that's really where I simplified my goals. And then the next thing was I zeroed in on my why, like really, really strong. 2020 was the first year that I wrote down my vision and read it every day. And I mean, it's no secret. I think everybody here knows my goal is to replace my husband's teaching income. And I had watched calls that said 2-star and beyond is replacement of full-time income. That doesn't mean immediately, but it's when you can open that second business center. So I knew that even if I didn't believe it could necessarily happen. Actually, 2-star was kind of my non-negotiable. Elite was my puke. I knew I was going to be 2-star premier, whatever it took last year. I just knew if I read that goal every day, that vision, that I was going to show up every single day. Like, even if I didn't have the leaders, I was going to show up because it was my vision that was important to me. And then the last thing that kind of get me to where like in the right headspace was professional development. And kind of something I shifted in that year was I stopped doing what I thought everybody else was doing for PD. And I really started looking for things that I needed in that season. So I came into 2020 needing things that made me feel like a leader, and learning how to lead leaders. So I did some more things like that. And then I had seasons where I felt like I was fizzling and helping my challengers. So I read more like Girl on Fire, like kind of impacting other people type books. I don't know. I just felt like really focusing on what I needed for professional development was huge, and how I was serving the people around me and my mindset around what I was doing. Okay, so that was kind of laying the groundwork for the year. And then tonight, I have 4 tangible tips and a lot within them to give you guys that I feel like impacted my team and kind of how we ended the year. I'm going to take a drink. So the first one is to seize each opportunity or make them happen. Okay. So the thing that's so cool about Beachbody is there's always something to be using. So they give us launches to catapult our business forward. I mean, like new program launches. But specifically tonight, anybody gonna guess what I'm gonna say? They give us Team Cup in February, which is like the most perfect way to start the year. And I saw that as an opportunity in February of last year. Here's the thing. I could have taken the easy way out and gone into Heart and Hustle and said like, hey guys, who wants to be on my team? I'm looking for a team. Or I could have gone to some of my leaders like Jody, or people that were kind of level playing field as me, and been like, hey, let's be a team together, which would have been okay because we may have leveled up in our own way. But I was not at a place where I was personally wanting to just like level up Success Club. I had that down. I could hit Success Club. I needed to build my coaches. And so what I did was I did something way out of my comfort zone. Like I said, I didn't think I had a team, didn't have very many people taking action. And so what I did in February or January, I messaged every single coach that I had. I adopted that same mindset we have when we invite people to our challenge group of I don't know what they need. I don't know who needs coaching, even though they told me they want it for the discount even a month ago. Who knows? Maybe they've been watching me for a month and they're ready to maybe start sharing, or they've built that confidence. So I messaged every single one, which at that point, I don't even know. I was going to look today and I forgot. There was probably like 20, 25 of them. And I just told them like, hey, I don't know if you want to do this, but I'm doing this fun thing in February with my coaches where really the goal is just to help 3 to 5 people in the month of February. I'll kind of show you everything that I do. And I did have Emerald as a goal. And so through those conversations, I was able to put together 2 teams, one on my account and one under my husband's. And it was just a great opportunity for me to really one-on-one start mentoring people and encourage that idea of duplication. You're going to hear that a lot throughout this call tonight. And just to be clear, maybe 4 out of those 8 continued to work with me moving forward. But if I wouldn't have asked any of those 8 people, or if I wouldn't have asked any of those 20 people, those 8 wouldn't have even tried, and those 4 wouldn't have even started working. So you have to start taking action. Okay. Then the next tip that I had was, I deleted something. Anyway, was you cannot count on just one person. So we can't put our eggs all in one basket. And I think in the beginning of our coaching career, that's really easy to do. You get that first person that's excited. You get that first person that says they want to go diamond. But you have to keep providing opportunities for everybody to take action and grow. So kind of this idea of duplication. And I was guilty of this. I had put my eggs in people's baskets in 2019, and look where it got me in 2020. I didn't feel like I had a team. So that was kind of that idea of I'm just going to work with the working. That was so important to me that it was a very clear part of my vision, and to provide opportunities for those that were ready to start working. And I don't necessarily mean full-time business building coaches, but I wanted to provide, and I have a lot of my coaches on here tonight that I would say are between that hobby business people. And they know on my team that that's okay, and that I'm going to provide opportunities, and they can either take them or they can leave them. Okay. And that is their decision. I don't have time. I'm just going to be really blunt with you guys. I hope my coaches on here don't get offended. I don't have time to hold everybody's hand every single step of the way. I'm very protective of that. And in the beginning, I wasn't. But in 2020, I found I had to really protect myself and my own time. Like Brooke has said before, this is an everyday business, not an all day business. And when you start like coaching your coaches, it can very easily start to feel like an all day, everyday business. Okay. So I really focused on working with the working. So I want to share with you guys some tangible things I started offering to my team throughout the year. I didn't necessarily do these all at once, but throughout the year, these were things we started implementing. We did some of our own team calls, not all. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I had message pods. This again was also a trial and error. I had new coach message pods. Once I had some emeralds, I did an emerald message pod. And then we've played around with a couple others until I've kind of found my sweet spot with message pods right now. I did success club boards, kind of that idea of duplication. So I had my own team page and I was shouting out people just for even one success club point. Like, that's awesome, you got a point. So let's keep duplicating it. You know, you want to recognize what you want people to do. When they see that, they're like, oh, well, that must be important. So then that's what I'm supposed to go do. And recognition is a vital behavior, and that's for a reason. And so I did success club boards. I also celebrated, obviously, rank advancements, and I celebrated recruits, like bringing on new coaches. Those are kind of the big things because I knew those were the things we needed to duplicate within our downline. Oh yeah, I shared my tracker with them. I shared it in my team page. I shared it in messages. This wasn't all super formal. It was just, I just started showing up for them, showing them everything I was doing. And to me, it didn't really feel like hand holding. It was just like a quick, like, okay, this is the invite I sent, like right before I go send it to 20 people. Or I just sent this invite to 20 people. Or this was my tracker this week. And I write down how many invites on my tracker. I write how many I invited every day. So they can see that. So they see what I'm putting in, but then it's their choice if they're going to duplicate that or not. So don't count on one person, and work with the working to kind of create the people that are ready to like rise up. Okay, the next tip, the third tip, is to go first. And I think I talked about this a little bit when we had a 2-star call in the fall, but it was definitely worth repeating because I think this was a really important, we wouldn't have hit our goals if I wouldn't have adapted this mindset last year. So something I wrote down when I was thinking about this was, when it's time to run, you sprint. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to wait for all the other people to start sprinting with you. When you see the goal ahead, then you have to go. You have to go and get it. And they can either decide to run with you or they can stay behind. And like I said, on my team, that's okay to me. If people are like, you know what, I'm cool back here. Like, I like where I'm at. That's okay. But I always let my team know where I'm going. So I had a couple instances I wanted to share with you that this happened. So last spring, I wanted that diamond back. Or this was like winter, I guess you could say, in 2020. And I think maybe we were going to hold it for a qualification. I can't remember. But I wanted my personal diamond back. And how could I expect my coaches to want to be diamond if I couldn't even show them that I was? And so I felt like I just needed it for credibility, for trust, and to kind of go first. And so I didn't have an emerald on my right leg. And if you're not familiar with this talk, go back and figure it out later, I guess, because I am going to talk a little bit of leg jargon here. I didn't have the emerald on my right leg that I needed for a diamond. And so my mom was over there and I basically helped my mom go emerald and got that diamond back. And lo and behold, you guys, I'm not even kidding, I popped 5 diamonds on that right leg within like 6 weeks. And that was partly Team Cup, but I made my mom emerald, and I think it must have been in February. And so it just showed people like, wait, like she did her mom. I don't know that really impacted them, but it just showed them like, I can do it too. Okay. So that was kind of one of the times. And then when I saw the next goal ahead, so we got that diamond back, yay, we're diamond again. In the spring, I started seeing the opportunity for 1-star. So I was a solid diamond and I have my husband's account on this side. And I was like, you know what? I just got to go for it. 1-star financially didn't really give me any gain. It didn't give me any real recognition other than just being 1-star. There was no bonus attached to it, but I had that mindset, okay, I have to go first. And so I started sprinting, and actually I had somebody sprint with me. Is she on here?
Yo, yo, yo.
Yes, I'm on.
And so
we were talking about our group chat. I did not hit 1-star, but Dana did.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Oh yeah. And so we started sprinting together, and Kelsey actually beat me. She ran faster. So she hit diamond before I hit it on Erin's account. And kind of something I wanted to share about that was we did lock arms there. When you see the people that are putting in the work, that's where I'm going to put my energy. So we had lots of one-on-one conversations. I did put more energy into her than maybe some of my other message pods because we were sprinting together. She was taking action. And like I said, she beat me to the finish line. And for the first time in my coaching career, I felt what it felt like to have the joy of somebody else's success. I had never felt that. And I know everyone talks about that. And I'm like, yeah, right. But you're the one that holds the rank. I didn't get that, especially as a high achiever. I did not understand that. And actually the day that she went diamond, she was here and I went out to talk to her. And it wasn't until on my way out there, it was a while after I had realized she was going to hit it, that I was like, wait a minute, that makes me 1-star. And I just I hadn't even thought of that. I was more concerned, or not concerned, but excited for her to hit diamond. And then it actually took me halfway through the week to be like, oh shit, that means I should hit 2-star. I was like, okay, I had to go first. Erin was not close to, or he was close to diamond. He needed an emerald. It just was not there at all. Long story short, I went first and I made it happen, guys. I had a discount, loyal, best challenger coach that I helped go emerald that week. And once again, I popped a bunch of emeralds on that leg while we were in qualifications, which was awesome. I think 2 on that side other than my 1. And so then we held 2-star together for that at that point, I wasn't even really thinking premier, but it was just so fun to do it together. And a little bit about while you're holding those qualifications, I kept my energy really high in my team page. I was really transparent about where we were with it. I celebrated Kelsey holding her diamond every single week with check marks. I celebrated us holding our 2-star every week. I came on live every single week, sharing what this meant. This meant taking care of ourselves, helping others. I tried to make everybody feel as included as I possibly could throughout that time. Okay, so then my last tip, my 4th tip at all, it's what I want you to learn from me in my mistakes. Not necessarily mistakes, but kind of looking back in hindsight on the year. I'm not saying I would do anything differently because I truly believe in seasons of our life and that we grow from our mistakes. And so I think that they were important, but I also felt like they were important enough to share with you guys tonight. Actually, really important because I wish I would have realized it sooner. So my first thing is, if you are ready to start declaring big goals for your business and your team, I would say 2-star and beyond, then you need to jump 2 feet in to your team. This took me 11 and a half months of 2020 to learn this. And I wish I would have learned it sooner. I was a little bit in nothing. I love Heart and Hustle. That's what was so hard about it. I was a little bit in there as a leader. I was a little bit in my team as a leader. And let me just tell you, that was really exhausting. And I didn't even realize it at the time. I thought that that's what I wanted. I wanted to be a part of this, and I want to be a part of this, and I didn't want to leave this. But when I finally made the decision to go 2 feet into my team and just be all in with my team, just be obsessed with them, be obsessed with us and what we stand for. I mean, I fully stand for everything Heart and Hustle is, but I had to take more ownership and put my CEO hat on. And it took Brooke and corporate mentor Mary to tell me that a few times for me to finally oh, I get it. Okay, let's go do it. But I have found it has been so much less stressful, which is so funny because I thought it would be so much more stress to just pretty much put myself into my team page. And I was stressed about what I would share with them each week and things like that. But instead, like, I feel like I've quieted a lot of noise and I'm really zeroed in on where we are. So that was one thing I wish I would have learned way sooner in 2020, just 2 feet into your team. And not everybody's there. So I don't want you to feel like like we say, like, you don't always need a team name right away. You don't need those things right away. But I definitely didn't want to ignore that for people that are kind of at that place. Then the next thing was to keep, and this is the other really important one, to keep your business a priority. So when I say your business, I don't mean building up your coaches. I mean like your business, like getting your challengers results, hitting Success Club, sending out your invites, because it's really easy to get excited about building a team. But if you're not keeping that cycle going, you're going to hit a plateau. Your team of leaders that you already have will only take you so far. And if you're not refilling the funnel, you're going to stop. And I will say, like, I hit that this year in some ways when we had that really big momentum and really big life changes, May through August. I poured a lot into my team because honestly, I was thinking about that today, and life got hard and I chose where to put my energy. And I put my energy into my team, which I don't think was all bad. But looking back in hindsight, I wish I would have poured more energy into my business, because then and less into my team, because my team already trusted me. My team already, I knew they'd be there when I was ready to step it back up. Because I felt like I was still taking action, but I was only taking action in certain places. And it came back to bite me September, October, November, were they were my hardest months since I've started actively coaching. And it was because I had let my business slide through the summer because I just was pouring into my team and just so concerned about the graphics and like all these extra things that were stealing my attention and my time, and they were not moving my business forward. So that is so important. So my closing thoughts with you guys is to keep it, I shared a lot tonight, but to keep it simple. And if you're new, like, this may sound like a lot of talk, but really these are simple things. I kind of thought about it today as like this cycle of doing your business activity tracker every damn day, every day. Like, I will preach that to the end of the world every day, or at least 5 days a week. You have to do those things to keep this cycle moving. That's actually the most important. Get your challengers results and build trust with them. Okay, so you do your tracker, you get your challengers, and you build trust with them. Be a part of those monthly sneak peeks. Somehow you have to convert those challengers into coaches. I don't get very many coaches that just come from my social media. I would say 98% of my coaches are challengers that got results, or are feeling good, I guess, not necessarily results per se. Be a part of those monthly sneak peeks. Offer to speak on them. For my team, offer to do a spotlight. Heck, go do your own. I know Brittany just did that this week. I know Kelsey has done one on her own. Those are scary, but if you don't start, then you just got to start somewhere, okay? The more you do them, the easier they get. So we got business activity tracker, challengers results, monthly sneak peeks, simple onboarding process. I'm not going to get into mine, but I've learned that just talking to people and just being like, hey, let's just go find 3 to 5 people to help, and just kind of walking them through that, whether it's in a new coach message pod. We kind of have a new checklist we're using, really simplifying things this year to just help people feel good. And all of that is duplication, because then once you get those coaches, then you teach them to get coaches, and then you teach those coaches how to do those things, and it all goes together. But if you're missing any one piece, it's not going to go together. If you're not inviting to sneak peeks, you've halted there. You're not going to be onboarding new coaches. If you're not sending invites up here, the whole thing isn't going to go together, and your business is not going to move forward. So sorry, that's kind of some tough love, but we all know that I'll preach the bat till the end of the day. So let me know. Yeah, that's all I have.
Oh, that was so good. So good. And I think like that last part reminded me of Moira's. I listened to a training, and maybe I shared it with some of you. Moira, I don't know how to say her last name, but the #1 coach of 2020. I listened to a training back in like December, and she brought exactly what you said. She's like, people think that challenge groups and getting people results and then building diamonds and building coaches are all like these separate little things when they're all the same thing. Like, your business is your challenge group. And when your challenge group is thriving, then you're going to get coaches. And then when there's coach, like, you just build on things. So I loved how you wrapped that together. So true. Maybe we'll give like 10 minutes for questions. Any questions for Dana about anything? It could be invites, about sneak peeks, about whatever. Dang, you covered it all, Dana. I know you do a really great job of like, how often do you do what's it called? A power hour with your team? That's what I'm looking for. 'Cause I know that was like something that you did a lot.
Yes. And that was somewhere in my notes and I didn't say that. That was in part of my ways I provide opportunities for them to step up and work. Honestly, in the beginning, they were just super random. On days that I didn't work and I knew I needed to, I would just message them or post in our team page. Like, I got to work is often like a Thursday night or a Wednesday. Like, I got to work tonight, hopping on at 8:30, come join me for a power hour. Honestly, you're right. I found so much benefit in those, especially because my team is almost all, other than Kyla and I, work full time. And so those nighttime power hours, like once a week, I think they have told me they really like those and they're beneficial. So we've actually scheduled those in this year. We're doing it a little different. We do just 2 team calls a month, and then we alternate the other weeks with power hours, which we've been a little off already, but that's kind of the idea.
Jess has a question about number of invites, daily or weekly.
It just depends on the season. So that's such a hard thing. I don't have an average. I guess I would say if I was like being super consistent because of the way my iPad is, and I keep my invites like on this lined paper, there's 20 lines on this. So if I'm going to sit down to invite, I try to invite a whole page, which is 20. And I always have a list I'm working off of because I can't sit down and send 20 invites in 10 minutes if I don't have a list. But I like right now, kind of in between, like I haven't announced like my February group. I've sent anywhere from 5 to 15 this week every day.
Any other questions for Dana? I have my question, but I'll save it for the very end. Nice.
Oh, what was your favorite PD book you read this year?
Oh man. I think Fear is My Homeboy was good for me. I don't know if it was just I was needing it in that season. And that was one I read with everybody. So it's funny that I say that. But I think I shared this in the Star Diamond chat. I was going back through my notes, and Build to Last was good, and one I think I'm going to revisit because it felt over my head because it's a lot about leadership. But when I read back through my notes, I realized I had implemented so many things that he shared, and I kind of had forgotten I even implemented those things. So that one was really good.
Who was Built to Last by?
I think that's the one by Keith Callahan. I think I listened to that one too, which was helpful.
All right, Dana, what is your 2021 goal? Cute goal.
Okay, so my puke goal like overall the whole year is to have 7 personally sponsored diamonds. So that's between my account and Aaron's. He has some rock star coaches under him, so I know that they'll do it. And then I have some income goals, but yeah, that's kind of our big one. But like the one that makes me puke is to hold 5-star like in the beginning of the 3rd quarter, so in July. But hopefully we're going to go into 3 soon, looking for my people that might hold that with me here tonight.
Well, we are cheering you on every step of the way. Thank you so much. I know Monday nights can be hard, especially when you've got 4 kids and it's winter, but the chat is blown up, and I needed this tonight. It was so good. So thanks for just pouring your heart. It's so clear that God has just brought you to coaching, and the impact that you make on the world is like, it's just incredible. And we are all very lucky to have you in our lives as a leader, as a friend. And yeah, thank you so much, Dana. Appreciate
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.